Howdy y'all, and welcome back to gaming videos, finally. Which hopefully will now happen every day, or at least every weekday. That's me knocking on wood. It has been a fun few days. Today, I thought we'd take a look at some Atari games. I love the 2600, and I don't think it's really plausible for me to do videos on one single game, so we're going to do them in like 5 game bunches. Today, we are going to do the top, well, not top 5 necessarily, that's very opinionated. These are my top 5 favorite Atari 2600 games. And to do that, we're going to use 2600 Online, which is just basically a nice big archive of all of these games. Now, not all of these games are original 2600 games. Some of these are, in fact, homebrew games. And usually they like this. Here's regular PacMan. Here's PacMan, a homebrew edition, which will be sort of more close to the arcade version. But we're not looking at any homebrew games today, even though if I did, they might be on the list. We'll do a separate video for homebrew games. Let me show you how it works real quick. So, this is a game, maybe. Okay. Oh, it just took a minute. Okay. So, this is a game. You actually have working controls on here. You have the black and white setting for some reason. That actually turns it on and off. You have the game select and game reset, and then, of course, the controls are just like you see them here. You know? Whee! And that's pretty much it. So, let's start with number 5! Asteroids! You are a spaceship flying through space. Well, you're kind of more of just flickering triangle rather than a spaceship, but you are Earth's last defense. I actually don't know what the story is here, but basically you're shooting asteroids. Oh, and I'm not doing it very well. You can turn around and you kind of float a bit. There's not a lot of inertia, so when you start floating, like I'm not holding anything now, it just sort of goes on its own, which is really cool. It makes for some interesting gameplay, even if it is very simple. And at some point, aliens come around too. We'll see if I can live long enough to see any. Whoa, that was close. Ooh. What? Oh. Woo. That just randomly teleports you. Oh, and I should have teleported there. Ah. So basically the controls on this for this website are space is the laser. Woo. Up, left, and right controls the spaceship. So to stop, you actually have to go forward, but you have to change the direction of the ship. There's not a lot of games that have controls quite like that. It's kind of fun. Oh. Like I said, I'm doing real good here. Didn't say I was good at these games just because I like them. Stay away from the corners because you never know where the asteroids come from. Ooh. And down teleports you out of the way real quick. Oh. Yay! Ah. Well, I got through the first screen. Guess I can't complain about that. It's a fun game, it really is. Even if I am not very good at it. Now I'm questioning whether they're aliens or not, or if I just made that up. Because there's a few games that are like this. Clone games were very, very common at the time. And I have a couple games that are basically asteroids. I might be thinking of another game. There might not be aliens in this. I can't remember off the top of my head, but regardless, it's still a great number 5. So, let's go on to number 4! Welcome to the races! This is Enduro. And it's a rather unique game, especially for the time. There's a couple games that do one of the things this does, but none of them quite as well. This is a racing game that's actually three-dimensional. Yeah, somebody figured out how to do three-dimensional racing games on the 2600, which is just amazing. Whoa. And not only is it three-dimensional, you have full control of the car. You can go left and right, which isn't surprising, but you can also speed up and control how much you speed up, pretty much, by letting go and accelerating more. And you have brakes, which is really cool. But this game does something else as well, and what this game does really well, other than crashing, is, well, you can see in the distance those white snow-capped mountains. We're in them now. This game actually has environments. They change as you go through the game, and so does the time of day. Yeah, this game for the 2600, a now 41-year-old console, has day-night cycles and weather. Talk about ahead of your time. I mean, can you imagine buying this game just thinking it's like Dodge 'em, and this is what you get? I mean, it just is fantastic, and it is a fun game. There aren't really lives, but you can see now it's changing the time, and look at the pretty sunset. I mean, it just really is. I know it's not anything by today's standards, but when you think that this game did this on a... Now it's nighttime, and look at the brake lights! Aw, look at the brake lights. When you think that this console was designed when VHS came out the same year, I believe, or a year before, maybe. I mean, that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And that is why it made the top 5. So, let's take... Oh, now it's foggy. Let's take a look at number 4. Wait, no, this was number 4. Number 3! PacMan! You can't... Oh, I messed up already. No, I didn't. You can't have a top 5 Atari games list without having PacMan. You just can't do it. No! Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to want to go up all that much. So... Ooh, I'm gonna eat ya. If you don't know what PacMan is, well... How? I mean, seriously, how? Basically, to sum it up, it is a game about a floating pizza eating dots, well, dashes in the 2600 version, while being chased around by ghosts. Makes perfect sense, right? There's no weird storylines there. But it is one of the most popular games of all time. Now, I will say this definitely is hard to compare to the actual arcade version. Though the arcade version will play... Oh. Yeah, I died. The arcade version will play on the 2600 through Homebrew, or a version very similar to the arcade. I may actually win this. Oh. Yes! Woo! Oh. Wow, that was stressful. There is a homebrew game of the real version, and usually if I play it, that's what I'll play. But this is the original 2600 version that you would have played if you were back in the 80s. 81, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And it is just a classic. I mean, it's PacMan! Oh, they changed right as I was eating them. Darn. And it is hours of endless fun. And you can't do a top 5 list without having PacMan. So, onward. I will say, I had a really tough decision between this, which is number 3, and number 2, which to place where. I ended up placing the number 2 position because I think it's a little bit more important to the future of gaming than Pac-Man was. We don't really have very many games that are maze dot eat 'em ups anymore. But number 2, we still have quite a few of. So, let's jump into number 2. Welcome to Pitfall. Now, if you don't know what Pitfall is, well, basically it's a game where you fall into a pit and climb ladders and jump over logs. Basically, this is the first, and I'll prove it to you, scrolling platformer. Now, the Atari 2600 isn't... Oh, and I should add, this is Pitfall Harry right here. The Atari 2600 wasn't really capable of scrolling, so instead it's just changes screens. But, I mean, this is sort of the predecessor to Mario. I mean, this is... And Sonic and all of those. Yeah, there were a few other platforming side-scrollers before this, but none of them really quite this advanced. I mean, this was pretty advanced for the Atari. You know, you have a background there with trees. You have tons of different sprite enemies. You have ladders and holes, and you gotta love those ladders and holes. You even have a fairly well-designed looking character. I mean, this game could have been released much later, and it would have been believable. You also have something else that, honestly, I can't think of another Atari game having. Or at least not a 2600 game. Maybe a 7800 game. Or 70... Wait, what? 7800? Oh, I forgot off the top of my head. Yeah, 7800. That sounds right. This game has a tutorial. This first screen is basically a tutorial. Nothing bad can happen to you, really. It shows you that you need to jump over stuff, shows you need to climb ladders. It even shows you that logs hurt your health, and that is health up there in the upper left corner. You also have a 20-minute time limit, and the little thing that looks like a pause symbol, that's your lives. You have 3 lives, one that you're using now, and then those 2. Now, in that time, what you're supposed to do, if you can manage, which I'm probably not even going to get to one of them, is find treasure. There's actually 20, and if you find them, the game simply ends, which is... Oh, didn't mean to do that. Which is actually pretty rare for the 2600. Most games just don't simply end after a goal is achieved. And now we're swinging on a rope. Press down, and you see down there, there's a scorpion, and here are crocodiles. I hate these. I'm not getting over these. I'm telling you that right now. I got over the tar pit, but I ain't getting over these. Oh. Yeah. I didn't even get on them. Jeez. Okay, let's try again. And now I think I'm on my last life already. Dang it. Dang it. Well, that means I start over. And like I showed you, you can actually go backwards in this game, which is pretty rare. We'll go backwards just to... so I don't instantly die via shark pit. What? Oh. I forgot that water could do that in this game. Oh, there's a snake. Are you a slippery snake? You a slippery snake. I'm not getting that close to you. Goodbye. Woo! Aww. But at least there's a rope this time. Whee! Heh. Oh. Yeah, I'm doing good. Whee! Run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. Found one! Woo! 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 Yeah, woo! Money! Bag of money! Bag of money! And that was Pitfall. The, enemy battling, rope swinging, log jumping adventure. And now, on to number 1. Now it's time for number 1. And this game is unbelievable. The fact they were able to get it onto the Atari 2600 beggars belief. Graphically, it's amazing. And gameplay-wise, it just makes so much sense. The story is fantastic. And it is truly the best Atari 2600 game of all time. It's so amazing that it has sold for $100,000 for an original cartridge. That is how unbelievable this game is. So let's look. E.T. Listen to that beautiful rendition of the song. Now, if you're wondering, yes, this is in fact better than the Spielberg movie. Let's jump in, and I'll try and show you in such a short time period all of the gameplay mechanics. But it will be difficult. As you can see, here is E.T. coming down in his spaceship. Now, you have a arrow up there. I go left, and now I stop, I think. And now I go right. And you have a counter in the bottom, which is important. There's a dot. You should get the dots. They are dots. And dots are important. You can see that I'm now in a pit. This is part of the gameplay mechanics. I simply stretch my neck, as E.T. would, and fly out. Now I fall back in. That's okay. This is all representative of the struggle for wealth in the first world, trying to get money and get out of the pit. Now you can see over there a man who looks like a detective. You might think he's glitched there, but no. No, that represents our government being stopped and the fall of communism. As you can see, I'm now supposed to go up. Oh, and now left. And I'm here now. Now I go down. There's another dot. I should get that because the dots, they are important. The government still stopped. Communism still fallen down there. Now, the mailman will take me to the post office. And the E screams silently. And here comes the man again. Here he comes. And now I'm in a pit. In case you haven't gotten it, this game is stupid. This is not the real number 1. This is E.T. It is known as one of the worst, if not the worst, game of all time. Nobody knows what you're supposed to do. It's stupid. It's pointless. It was probably the beginning of the worst movie tie-in games. But, not joking, one really did sell for $100,000. Makes you sad that some people have that much money and are that stupid. Let's look at the real number 1. Moon Patrol! I don't know how many people would put this as their number 1, but I love this game. I grew up playing this game a lot. This is by far my favorite Atari game, homebrews included. Basically, you are a little moon rover, and I know the clicking is going to get kind of loud here. Oh. And you can go forward, you can go back a little quicker, And you have to avoid their lasers. They're aliens. You're protecting the moon from them for some reason. The green moon. I guess the cheese is finally molding. And you shoot them. Shoot them up good. Woo! Yeah. Well, I didn't miss that in time. And you have to jump over anything that gets in your way. If I recall, there's also tanks. And as you go, the levels slowly get faster, which makes it a bit harder. Oh. Yay, I got no bonus. That was first level. I completed it. Now, the real version of this game, the actual cartridge version, which I've had since I was like 12, because I love this game. In fact, somewhere I have had the original box. I don't know. Oh. Well, I died. What I was going to say is that the original cartridge version of this game actually has music, and it is probably the best music of any Atari game as well. This version doesn't for some reason. I can't seem to find a version online that does. I even tried installing a few of the emulator versions, and they don't have the music either. I don't know why they've cut that out. If there's just something that it doesn't transfer over from the cartridge or what, I don't know. But it is amazing. And you hit that poop. Alien poop. You're probably happy that you're not hearing it because it would be stuck in your head the rest of the game. It goes something like doo 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 doo. I haven't played this game in a while, and that is still just burned into my brain. That song. It is. And there is an arcade version of this as well. And if you go looking to play this for most places, that's the one you'll find. I hate the arcade version. It looks weird and cartoony. I guess technically it has better graphics than this does, but I prefer the graphics to this. I mean, they're nothing fancy, but didn't get it in time. But they look passable at least. I mean, it looks like a little moon. It actually kind of looks like a little DeLorean. And you have the mountains in the background. You have the stars going by, and they're going at different speeds. And the alien ships look okay. It's nothing fancy, but I definitely prefer this version to the arcade version. And that about wraps it up for my top 5 favorite Atari 2600 games. I will do more, and I'll probably do them in 5-game blocks like I've done this time. I wanted to put Donkey Kong in here. It is the first appearance of Mario, and I am a really big Donkey Kong fan. But Nintendo gets kind of weird with that stuff because they're stupid. So I didn't put it in here. It probably would have been number 5, I think. So it's not like it would have been number 1 or number 2 or number 3. Maybe could have been number 4 if I really thought about it long enough, but probably number 5. We may do a video on Nintendo if I ever want to sign that waiver thing that they require, but for now, these are the top 5 that I've picked. That's it for this time. Happy trails.